our coaches' luncheon. We've got a lot to go over today and a lot of people to have speak with you. So thank you for being here. Hey, I want to very quickly say thank you to Pancheros for providing our lunch today. They always do a fantastic job. I notice everybody always makes a quick rush to the Pancheros line, so hopefully you're enjoying that. Hey, we want to acknowledge and congratulate our new president, Dr. Jim Rankin. He's officially on board. He's already been taking care of some things this past week here on campus. He has gone back home to take care of some business before he gets here. He will be here physically in early January. So once again, welcome, Dr. Rankin. We're excited to have you aboard. A schedule of what's ahead. We've got our first basketball, men's and women's basketball, home doubleheader this Friday night, Johnson and Wales University. Women's game is at 5:30. The men's game is at 7:30. And now that's Faculty Staff Appreciation Day. So the President's Office will be hosting a reception in here in the Hall of Fame for faculty and staff beginning at 4 o'clock. And then our VIP reception between games is going to be open as well to the faculty and staff. So we will have a large crowd of folks in here during the doubleheader, so be prepared for that. Women's basketball plays Saturday at home against Grace University at 2 o'clock. The Grace University men's team, Grace University decided to drop their sport very unsurreptitiously. So the men's game that day on Saturday will not be taking place. So please be aware that it's just the women's game on Saturday. And men's basketball will return to action on Tuesday night here at home against University of Mary. That'll be at 6 o'clock. Something also, just you may or may not have seen this when you came in, we've got our schedule cards for men's and women's basketball season plus track and field. So if you don't have one of these, feel free to pick it up at the station back here on your way out later this afternoon. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into our speakers. Our first speaker is going to be our men's soccer coach, Andrew Connie. He's doing a season wrap-up, and he is joined by some of his players, Camron Thompson, Brett Bender, and Brandon Lynn.
I know you all are excited to hear about basketball, so I'll be brief. I just want to acknowledge a few of our players. This season for us, it went very well by a lot of metrics. I mean, predominantly based on previous seasons. We expect a lot more of ourselves going forward, and going through these end of season meetings, all of our guys are eager for what we can do next year. So they're actually getting back on the field tonight and Thursday. They're not wasting any time. So we don't really feel like we're done yet. So we're really looking forward to what we have in store. Brad, can you please cue up a few things? I just want to acknowledge a few of our guys. Brett Bender, who will speak briefly today. Single season record for most minutes played, I think with the exception of one suspension, all 90 minutes every game. Unbelievable to do that twice a weekend for him. Larsen, who's not here today, all-time minutes leader. Again, that's unbelievable. Some of the seasons he played, he's played some different positions, a little bit of holding mid, outside back, center back. That's not easy to do. And actually second on the list is his brother Andreas, so he's pretty happy to edge him out there. Noah McKenzie, single season assist record. He picked up one to his brother in our final game of the year to get this record, which is pretty special for him. And Justin Barco, who's not here today either, most goals in a season, most points in a season. Points, you get 2 points for a goal, 1 point for an assist. Really, really good production from him this year. Really a lot of good individual efforts from him. And then some of the team stuff that we have. We had best record, most goals in a season, most assists, most shots. And going into this year, our team goal, something we had talked about, one of my personal goals was to break every program record. And we were close to doing that. And looking back, that wasn't a lofty enough goal for us, really. In all honesty, I think we could have won more than 4 games this year. So to see that, it's a little tongue-in-cheek looking at those records for me, because I think this group was even capable of more. I applaud the efforts this year, and to be able to make some of those strides. I mean, that best record in program history, we doubled the best season in program history. So that's a huge testament to our guys to do that, and they helped me a lot this year. I'm just hoping for even more next year. Then you three, can you come up now? So they don't know this. Yeah, come on. We did player voted awards. Brandon's listed as co-player of the year because Justin Barco was equally elected to co-player of the year by his peers. So we have some sheets for you guys I'll talk about after. But these three really did a good job this year, and I'll let them talk in a second. But Brandon, Hardrocker of the Year was an award we described as being the best teammate, being the best worker, showing leadership, really just encompassing everything you look for in a scholar athlete. And to be also elected as co-player of the year, which is strictly just performance on the field, that's really well done from him. It shows how much respect he has of his teammates. Cam Thompson, most improved. And I think most improved can be interpreted a lot of different ways. You can view that as maybe a redshirt who came into a really good sophomore season. Cam was a junior this year, and I think played at least 70 to 90 minutes in the last 6 or 7 games of the season. So by no means was he someone who was just going from a low level and getting better. He went from a good level and really stepped up. And I put him in some unorthodox spots this year for him. And a lot of these guys want to have a specific role. They want to know their position, what they're doing within the team. What was so good about Cam is he's talented enough to be able to do a lot of different things and help the team. And Brett, Defensive Player of the Year, when you have one of the best goal against records in program history and this guy doesn't come off the field, it's due to him. So honestly, all three of these guys are unbelievable this year. So I'll let them talk real quick.
Yeah, so overall the season, it was great. A little disappointing we didn't get more wins, but for me personally, this was the most fun and best year that I've had here in my 4 years. Atmosphere was great, morale was great. The group of young guys that we had come in are far better than any other year we've had, so it's really encouraging for the future, and I think it's just going to continue to grow as we go on.
Yeah, definitely looking back on the year, we definitely could have had a lot more than 4 wins. We look at some games where we got maybe some decisions that didn't go our way or some bounces that didn't quite go our way that caused us to lose, but we get some of those decisions go our way. We're looking at 7, 8, 9 win season this year. So we definitely, there was a lot we left to be desired on the field, but we definitely had the best season in program history, and that goes with everything that we've shown. I mean, most goals scored a season, fewest goals conceded, best record, most corner kicks, all that just shows how much we've improved attacking and defensively going into this
Just why don't you share your summer plans, jobs, academically, what you're doing?
This summer, I'm kind of debating between 2 locations, but I'll be working for Nucor Steel down in Decatur, Alabama, or in Utah. So that's pretty exciting. I graduate in May, and I haven't quite figured out what I'm doing next. Yeah, the job hunt will be starting. I'm kind of neglecting doing that just because it's a little terrifying, but I'll start on that here soon, hopefully. This summer, I'm going to be out in Peoria, Illinois with Caterpillar as an intern, and hopefully after that, I figure out what I want to do after graduation. Any questions for us?
Yes, I don't know any of you, so you have to tell me your name and where you're from.
Okay.
I'm sure you're the 3 that are on the identify yourself.
I'm Brett Bender from Arvada, Colorado, and I just graduated from soccer this season. Brandon Lynn, I'm from Windsor, Colorado, and I'm a mechanical engineering major, and I'll graduate in May.
I'm Camron Thompson. I'm a metallurgical engineering major. I'm from Castle Rock, Colorado, and I'll be going into my senior season this next year.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm Kevin Price. I was born in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, so it's always good to see guys from With a wrap-up of football season, Coach Zach Tinker.
Great crowd today. Great enthusiasm in the building. I know I've got some popcorn ready for Coach Larsen here in a little bit, so I can settle in and get a women's basketball soliloquy going. But we wrapped up on Saturday with a victory on the road against Western State, Colorado. What a wonderful environment. First time in Gunnison, Colorado. Some wonderful people up there, very welcoming. We had just an outstanding time. It was great fellowship on the trip. We did something a little different. We went to the stadium Friday and just kind of let our players get acclimated to being up in Gunnison. And they just had such a spirit about them. We had sunshine and 60 some odd degrees. I think we were all breathing a huge sigh of relief that a November game in Gunnison involved sunshine and not snow. And so our players just had a great spirit about them on Friday during the runaround. They just enjoyed being out on the field with each other. They threw the football. We couldn't get them to leave. They just wanted to be out there playing football together. And we took that same spirit into the game on Saturday, and the results showed. We did not play a mistake-free football game. We found a few ways to create some challenges for ourselves. But in the end, our effort and energy was there, and we were able to get a win on the road against a team, frankly, a season ago when we saw them at our field, we did not match up with. So 1 year later, to go to their place to get a win was huge, and finish with our 5th win of the year. We do have some highlights from the game. I know Brad has them. Best SID in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, about to share some of this with you. We had a great day running the football. Camron Thompson breaking free 69-yard run, and once Kevin gets to the 3rd level, no one catches him. The only thing that catches him is the altitude right there. He got a little gassy at the end, a little tired, but tremendous run. That was the first score of the game. Thought our running game was phenomenal on Saturday against a really good defensive football team. This was the interception by E.J. DeVoe. You guys might have seen this play before. It's almost an exact replica of the game-winning interception he had against Colorado School of Mines. Someone should have learned not to try to pick on number 2 into the boundary. He made a huge play right there. It was a really critical time in the game. Here's Dorian Kohert, another senior tailback, and there we go again. This is a 4th down play. We had some challenges with our punt unit over the last couple weeks. So we went for it on 4th down about 3 times inside of our own 30-yard line, and we got them. So that was good because I was having a minor panic attack every time we did. That was a 4th down play, 70-yard run. This is the first of 2 interceptions for Harrison B. Miller, sophomore out of Arizona. Harrison, number 1, has really steadily improved. He's a 2-year player for us, a true sophomore. We're going to need him to have a big-time junior season and start to be a leader in that back end. Here's another 4th down conversion, again from our own 19. But it was a big play by Jake to get out and get on the run, and then we actually got number 81 there got an unsportsmanlike conduct for trying to take the old, I hit him, but I didn't really hit him move. This is the play of the year for the Rocker Dogs. Blake Stone, number 39, with the scoop and score. Just look at that energy to finish this play off. I mean, just awesome. The entire sideline lost their minds during this play. Stunningly, we didn't get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. I ran out of breath running up and down the sideline right there. Here's Dorian Kohert again. Watch this move right here on the defense back, right there. Slide into the end zone. He had just one of his really great games as a hard rocker. He's had a bunch of them. That was a pretty juicy play right there. And then this is a true freshman, Jeremy Gonzalez. Kind of the same style of play. And just 2 great blocks by Jermaine Williams and Carson Hunt. And we get into the end zone. And then we kind of had the game wrapped up. We're up 3 scores, but just for good measure, Harrison B. Miller with the interception right here to seal the deal and keep them out of the end zone. And then put a little return on there as well. He's been talking to me about thinking he should be a 2-way player. I'm not sure we're there yet. Okay. But you can see a ton of energy from our men on the victory Saturday over Western State. Now that kind of iced it for us, and a solid victory on the road. One thing we've learned is it's hard to win on the road in this league, and we played some really good football at home. And I'm hoping that last victory on the road will spark some energy for us moving forward. As we look a little bit maybe to the future, it'll be an interesting year on the defensive side, graduating 5 defensive backs. We'll lose 10 total defensive players that were seniors, which was a good group of players. We do have some real talent that comes back on the defensive side of the ball that's younger. We ended up playing 16 true freshmen overall as a program this year, which is about 12 more than we anticipated. And those players sort of at the end of the season were a different style of player. And so I'm really encouraged by that youth on the defensive side specifically. We're going to need to get a transfer or 2. We're going to need probably 1 transfer at each level of the defense, and defensive line, linebacker, and defensive back, and that should shore us up on that side. Offensively, we'll return the most electrifying offense in school history. We bring back 2 all-conference caliber players who missed all of this year with injury, Jack Batho at offensive tackle and Connor Silvera at running back. Those guys are all-conference caliber players. So we'll have Camron Thompson back at running back, Connor back at running back, Jake, of course, at quarterback, and then we bring Isaiah Manley and Brandon LeBrie and Carson Hunt, Jermaine Williams all back. So it'll be a talented group of offense. We'll need the offense to really carry us through the first really September of next year. The offense needs to be outstanding if we want to be competitive. We start the season at Colorado Mesa, so it's clear that we already have the attention of the 2018 Hardrockers because we got it handed to us pretty good when we saw Mesa. Mesa is the most talented team we saw all season long, and we start there, and then we come home for the Western State game, and then the Simon Fraser game in week 3, non-conference game for us. So that's how we'll start September next year. So as you start to get your juices flowing, you can take a brief juice break here over the next couple weeks, okay? And then get juiced up for the recruiting season as we start to bring men on campus, and then as we head into the spring. So a little bit of an update on where we are and where we are going. Questions that are out there? Any questions from you?
Boy, now's your chance. Questions?
Yeah, this is it. This is your last chance at it. Do look out for this afternoon. I will get to this afternoon. You should see the all-conference selections for the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. We anticipate those will come out sometime this afternoon. So touch base with Brad Bloom on social medias and the World Wide Web to get that information. We have a question in the back.
Does Jake's shoulder issues, are they recurring, or is it something that will eventually heal up? Or
The question is about Jake's shoulder issue. Yeah, Jake played really well on Saturday. He seemed fine. No, he's ready to go. He's very energized. He played behind a really patchwork offensive line this season, and then we lost all his primary receiving weapons by midseason. And he really developed a bunch of other guys, and they all come back. So for him, I think he did what any great quarterback would do, which is he just found a way to stay in these games. Look, we were in every game but one, and he's a primary reason why, and he's going to be the reason why we win the ones late in the season next year.
Yeah, you said you're looking for some transfers. Have you ever made contacts with anybody, or?
Asking about transfers and so forth. Yeah, we sent Coach Udy, our recruiting coordinator, left this morning, and we're down beating the bushes right now. And he's allowed to go. And I did say to him, you could go to the beach one day. You can't actually get out of the car, but you can drive out of the beach when you're in Southern California. And the rest of the time, we're going to find future Hardrockers. Our transfer recruiting has been exceptional over the last several years. We're finding engineers that want to play, that are transferring in, and that's been critical for us. And so we're going to get a couple more transfers, a couple guys who can come in and help right away to sort of shore up a little bit on that defensive side of the ball. And the rest of it is this high school recruiting. We have 19 freshmen from this year that we believe are RMAC quality players, which is really, really good in the recruiting class. Is that it? Man, all right, I'm getting ready for you, Coach Larsen. Get psyched up. Rock on.
Coach, thank you. We might as well bring him up right now. Everybody ready? You got your reinforcements of your food and everything, right? So here we go. Ryan Larsen, women's basketball.
Get your popcorn ready. I'm going to correct you on one thing, Coach Tinker. Don't put that juice away. All right, home opener Friday, Saturday, get juicy. You gotta get the good old gym rocking and rolling with our opponents. Okay, a really good weekend for us. Tough trip all the way to Durango. Much like Gunnison, beautiful time of the year there right now. We got out and about. The little train sightseeing. They got some fancy trains, 1880 trains up in Durango. We got some good pictures. Just wonderful time, and that obviously helps when you get 2 victories. That's for sure. Yeah, Friday night, played a really good team. A team that played in the national tournament last year, finished very, very strong in the Lone Star Conference. Team that Like I said last week, we had on the ropes a little bit last year, lost in overtime to them. But yeah, had a really good performance all around from, geez, all kinds of different kids. I believe Taylor Molstead led us in scoring, but then everybody else really chipped in. Sammy Stefik had countless just big-time buckets down the stretch. Anna Haugen was phenomenal all over the place, led us in rebounding again. As always, when Anna doesn't lead us in rebounding, something's wrong. But she dominated the glass for us, hit a bunch of baskets. Cooper Courtney played very well Friday night. Yeah, just I can go on and on and on. Everybody that played had big-time contributions throughout the night there. And you know, the first half, I felt we kind of felt our way around like we did the week before against Montana State. The thing that really propelled us to the victory was the second half. We brought, you know, I'm not trying to be too much like Coach Tinker, I got to be myself, but we brought a lot more energy and a lot more juice to the court. And I really felt that we out-energized them, as well as out-executed and outperformed them. But that was definitely a big part of it. We just kind of cut loose a little bit. And it showed in our defense turning them over. It showed in our offensive execution where we found different ways to score. We just really moved the ball, and it had a, you know, for our first game, I mean, I was not, you know, excluding our exhibition game and our scrimmages, for our first real action, the game that counts on the win-loss record, I was very, very impressed with the way we executed offensively and defensively, and it, you know, that's something new for us, but that I expect that because we have a lot of kids coming back. But once we just kind of stopped feeling Eastern New Mexico out and we cut loose a little bit, yeah, we had a really nice performance. So I was tremendously happy with that victory. Then we flipped it around Saturday. You know, we enjoyed it that night. Next morning, we knew we had. Well, when I walked in Friday, see, yeah, was it Fort Lewis was playing first, right? Yeah, Fort Lewis and Permian Basin were playing first. Coach Bonlander and Coach Richter went and scouted that game. I was with the team eating pre-game meal. I rolled into the Fort Lewis Permian Basin game about halfway through the first quarter, and Permian Basin was up. And I went, oh boy, what did I get myself into right now? Because Fort Lewis is a really good team. They're number 22 in the nation, and you know, Permian Basin has a new coach and a couple new players, and those new players, one of them had, I think, geez, like 20 at halftime. You know, oh my gosh, what do we have going on here? But yeah, backing up a little bit, great game Friday, refocused Saturday, and yeah, Cooper Courtney had 36. So yeah, great coaching, real good coaching. We got Cooper the ball, and she was phenomenal. Offensive player of the week in the RMAC. She had 10 on Friday, and then 36 in a game. I don't know where that stands in record book, Brad, and third. That's pretty darn good. 5 of 10 from the arc. For some reason, they kept letting her shoot, but I was happy about that. The thing about Cooper, if you guys watched her play last year, yeah, she shot a lot of threes, and she excelled at that. The kid worked really, really hard this year. She made a number of pull-up jumpers. She got to the rim. Matter of fact, I think she got her first offensive rebound Friday night in a putback and an end one, and she got to the free throw line 10 times, 9 of 10 from the line. You know, that it's one thing to be able to make jumpers from the arc, but you know how we like to say, you got to be a three-way player and make pull-up jumpers, get to the rim, that type of stuff. So she's an overall scorer right now. So it wasn't like she was just playing pig at the arc. So that was a great performance out of Cooper. And if she doesn't put up 36, it's probably a little different story. I'm singing a little different tune right now. But Permian Basin, they're much improved. A couple transfers on their team made them really, really dangerous. And they play a little different style. They play zone for 40 minutes, which kind of why Cooper is open a lot. But it's not your typical YMCA zone that Coach Tinker and the football guys play at noon ball, where they're just kind of sitting back a little bit and letting you shoot. They really get up and pressure you, get passing lanes and stuff like that, and try to turn you over. So 2 key stats for the game. We had 9 turnovers at halftime. We had 3 in the second half. And so obviously, once we stopped turning over, we got a lot more shots, and those shots went in. But then the other second key stat that we really had to fix up And I hate doing this, but about, I don't know, 3 minutes into the third quarter, after one possession where they got 4 consecutive offensive rebounds, I had to burn a timeout and remind our kids how to rebound. Well, after that, we started rebounding much better, and that's when we were able to spread the score a little bit. So once we stopped turning over, and once we started rebounding, we were able to pull away there a little bit. But man, fantastic weekend. So happy about our kids. You know, we played with great energy, great execution, and there was a ton of juice in the locker room after each victory. That was a lot of fun. We got a couple clips, Brad, before I move on to the weekend. Really nice board here. We really got out and ran against Eastern New Mexico, which is great. And this is just simple secondary action that we practice darn near every day. Big time post move by Molly McCabe right there. Here's a really good ball screen switch defensively. Anna does her deal. She was supposed to double there, but instead takes it out of the air and steals. And this is what we're really encouraging Anna to do this year. All right. We want her to be Draymond Green. And that was Draymond Green-like, you know. If you guys follow the Warriors at all, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, here's a really good defensive possession. We took 2 charges in this game. I think we took 2 charges all of last year, so we equaled our charge mark from last year, which is a great stat. Here's just a tremendous effort play out of Krista Showalter. Again, one of those huge buckets to really get a lead for us. Here's the Permian Basin game. Really nice steal by Sammy Stefik. Smart decision here not to force one-on-one. We come down, we settle, we get some offense going. Here we spread them out, and as you can see, they're in their zone. Make one skip pass, Sammy attacks, another kick out, and this is where Cooper just made a living all night long. 5 of 10 from the arc. Again, 9 of 10 from the free throw line. There was a technical foul in that game against Permian Basin. You get to choose who shoots your free throws. And it seems about half the time when the coach gets to pick who shoots their free throws they're going to miss. So that was the one free throw that Cooper missed. She made the second one, which was great. Yeah, I tell you, it was a great weekend, no doubt about it. But now, yeah, we're happy about what we accomplished. We got after it this morning in practice, had a really good run up and down the court. We got 2 quality opponents this weekend, Johnson Wales and Grace University. I don't know a whole lot about them right now. The last couple of days I've been watching our game film and trying to figure out where we can sharpen our style a little bit more and get better. We will start diving into them a little bit more. I do know that we do have the size advantage against both teams. I'm guessing they're going to play 5 out and really try to spread us out a little bit more, which will put our post players defending a lot more in the perimeter. So we'll have to, our post will really have to get out and guard there a little bit. One injury update, unfortunately Molly McCabe did go down in the Eastern New Mexico game. Not quite sure what the extent of that injury is, an MCL in her knee. It's not too terrible, we just don't know how long she's going to be out. The good thing about that is we do get to extend Marissa Herkit's minutes this weekend. We had her pretty limited to about 15 minutes a game. Both Friday and Saturday this past weekend, but Missy will get to extend those minutes. And as of right now, Emma Pierce she's looking like she's going to be cleared to go as well, so she'll get her first action. So unfortunately, we do lose one more post, but we get to extend Missy's minutes, and Emma's coming back. So you know, it's never good to have someone go down, but the timing is pretty good there with Missy being able to play more and Emma coming back. So yeah, but then we have a quick turnaround next week. We're up to Montana State Billings on Tuesday night, and we get Thanksgiving break off, which is outstanding. Everybody's popcorn's gone. All right, any questions? Anything for me?
Brian, in preparing for this season, compared to your last, say, 4 seasons or so, after making the playoffs last year, is there anything you tweaked in preparation with this particular group of players as you look at the season? Did you put anything new in or eliminate something, or how did you approach the season?
Yeah, that's a great question, Tom. He asked, you know, what did we do as a staff to differently from last year to this year, or years previous to this year. You know, we are quite a bit different offensively. You know, I knew that we really had to utilize our guards a lot more. I feel that our guards are going to be probably the more potent scoring options that we have this year. So we're running them a lot more screens and putting them in position. You know, especially Sammy Stefik, Taylor Molstead, you know, in Cooper Courtney. You know, they're getting a lot more screens and a lot more freedom. We're putting Molly and Anna in space a little bit more to use their athleticism and skill. You know, we'll still have Missy on the block a lot more and just getting her touches near the rim. But that's kind of where we were last year. We really pounded away on the blocks to our posts. Our guards are, you know, we've got some really good guards out there right now, and they can all score it at different levels. So that's kind of what we've really changed. Defensively, schematically, we've changed some things. Nothing dramatically. In our man-to-man, I will say though, I'm glad you asked this because we played more zone Friday and Saturday than I had in my 4 previous years. And thanks to Coach Richter and Coach Bonlander for forcing me to do it. One quick story on this. It was late in the Permian Basin game, and the one reason I don't like zone is I just hate getting shot on, you know, from the arc. I hate giving up threes. And there was about, I don't know, roughly 2 minutes left to go in the game, and they had a couple of good looks from the arc, and I did my usual squat in front of Dallas and Hope and said, I'm thinking about going back to man. And Coach Bonlander kind of looked away, biting her lip. Coach Richter looked away, and you could see he was just fighting it back, and I said, hey, now's the time. You got to tell me. All right, it's okay if you go against me. I want your input. And they both, you know, staunchly said, stay with the zone. That's why you have a great staff. And we stuck with the zone. I don't think they scored that last 90 seconds. So credit to them. You know, I'm kind of a changed man. I'm hitting, you know, 4-iron off a hole 3 at Red Rock. I'm hitting 5-iron off hole 7. You know, usually it's 5 wood and 3 wood. Yeah, I saved myself a lot of strokes. And playing zone now, hopefully it cuts down on the point total where they point too. So I'm growing up, Tom. Anything else? Hey, I appreciate it. Come on out, watch us Friday, Saturday. 2 good opponents, and I know what you guys are you're gonna like what you see. We've got just a fine group of young ladies that they really get after on the court, and they're fun to watch. Thanks for your support.
Coach, thank you, appreciate it. It was a good weekend last weekend, wasn't it? Football won, women's basketball pulled out some victories, and men's basketball won also. So hey, Jason Henry, why don't you come up and tell us about it?
All right, yeah, we had a good weekend too. We were excited to get going as everybody else was. But quick update, we have a number of people that keep asking me too how Connor Koulis is doing. You know, he's out in Germany now, for those that you didn't know, playing overseas, playing professionally, and figured it was a good time to update you with last night, which technically was 2 nights ago, I guess, but however you look at it, is he hit the game winner. He's playing on the top team in the league. They were playing the number 2 team. Great atmosphere, great environment, all those kind of things, and got to see it on Facebook. And of course, I reached out to him and okay, tell me how it was and all that kind of stuff. So he was pretty pumped up. He said it was. They don't have playoffs per se. It goes from whoever wins the regular season and that kind of stuff. So that was a huge game for them as far as the winning and that kind of thing. So he is leading the league that he is in scoring. He's averaging almost 30 points a game down there. He's in second, third, or something like that, and rebounding, but we knew what kind of player obviously he was, and we got an opportunity to see him for 4 years, but he's carried that over. A big part of it is just how hard he works. I'm sure he's just out working guys left and right down there, and of course, he's pretty skilled and talented too, so it makes up for a good player. So that's our Connor Koulis update. He does, I don't even remember the name of his team right now, but if you're on Facebook and that kind of stuff and want to follow him a little bit, he's having a heck of a year right now, and excited. Got some family to come over there in the next couple weeks for Thanksgiving, and then over to in Christmas. He's not coming back home until April, so pretty excited and having a great time over there. As for us, heading down to Texas has been kind of an annual deal since we were an independent, since we've played this conference challenges to start the year. They do come up here next year, so we have opening weekend against the same 2 teams up here. The first opponent was Texas A&M Kingsville. We knew what we were getting ourselves into. They were a team that went to the national tournament last year and won a game, and they have all their good players back. So we knew we were gonna have our hands full, especially down at their place. They're just incredibly good on the defensive side. They're long, athletic guys that really put pressure on, and we only can prepare for it so much. And we went down there, and I think we turned it over 18, 19 times in the first half. I mean, it literally looked like a junior high team going against a high school team that's out there pressuring all these guys getting there. I knew it was going to be a struggle on that side of it until we got through it a little bit. Got to feel what it was like. Knew we couldn't just turn and make passes. Knew we had to make that extra effort on a cut or whatever the case is. And we literally would turn, ready to throw the ball. Our guy would back cut, and we'd throw it out of bounds. I mean, it was crazy. That being said, we're still only down 12, 13 points. Kind of got us rattled from the free throw line. We missed a bunch of free throws as well. Our defense definitely kept us in it, and this is more of an offensive team. If I'd say there's an offensive team that we've had, it's as good as we've had. But they really did a good job of defending them. That carrying over to the second half, we lowered our turnovers. We did a very good job, and bottom line of it all, our kids kept competing. They played their tails off. Ended up of course losing the game and whatnot. Too much to overcome. But I was actually got done with the game, and I'm going, all right, we got a chance this year. If they do this stuff and they end up competing like we did in the second half against, once again, and they'll be there again. They'll be a national tournament team again this year. And the things we did in the second half, I was actually very optimistic. Going in the next night, had a great shoot around. Once again, we'll talk about this all year, but we're very young. They don't know what our expectations are as far as you come into a shoot around, how hard you got to play. We actually practice, and we don't just go shoot around and take some jumpers and away we go. We actually get after it pretty good the day before games, the day of games, all those kind of things. So anytime we get across the lines, as we tell our guys, it's go time. It doesn't matter what you're doing, and their preparation coming in that next morning, it was phenomenal. Honestly, it was better than some junior seniors when you have a more experienced team, and just that focus, they were ready to go. And I'm going, okay, I like this team. It's just over and over again, and going, these guys have a chance. And sure enough, we kind of took it to them. To go down there to Texas, I think we were 1-12. The last 5 years or something like that, going against the Texas teams and long trips and all the kind of stuff that go with it, and to come out and do the things that we did and have a 15-point lead in the first half, or I guess they had a 3, so a double-digit lead in the first half, and then to have a 30-plus lead in the second half against a team that won their conference last year. So it wasn't like it was the bottom of the tier and we show up and we just take advantage of it. And the best part of it all is, we shot the ball well. Well, we had key times where we shot the ball extremely well, but overall we still only shot over 50, just over 50%. So we've had games where we've shot 60, 65%, and then you're like, okay, I can see what happened there is, we just played incredibly well on the offensive side. It wasn't like we just did something incredible. We just did what we're supposed to do. So learned a lot of things from that first game. They probably didn't pressure us as much, but it was a team that was very athletic and tried taking you out of some stuff and really posted up a lot harder, and Post did a great job. Individually, Tristan Vanetta, a bunch of guys I'm going to list off here that you're like, who in the heck are these guys? So that's how I feel some days too, with all of our guys are gone from last year. But Tristan almost had a double-double. He had 11 points and 9 rebounds. The first night, a couple of the guys, shot the ball well. Troy Brady's had an incredible start to his freshman year with South Dakota State game. These 2 games, just knocking down shots, knowing how to play. Of course, the Jake Heaths of the world, Logan, some of those guys, all had pretty good games. The first game, and then they did the second game as well. But I tell you what, everybody we put in that second night did their jobs, and we talk a lot about that for our guys. Is what? Here's the expectations for you guys. The expectation is just go do your job. If you do your job, somebody else will do their job, and now all of a sudden we become a pretty good team. And they really, start buying to understand that stuff as I take care of business, and good things will happen. So it was a great win for us. I wouldn't say very unexpected, but maybe completely unexpected as far as blowing a team out on the road. That kind of stuff just doesn't happen very often. But a tribute to our guys in the past. We've had 15-point leads, 12-point leads, kind of build them up, and then they do something different, just clear it out and dribble at us and whatever, and then we stop scoring, and then all of a sudden everybody get all nervous, and then all of a sudden it's a game, which happened to us plenty last year, and we found a way to win those games, but we did, step on them, and then keep advancing and keep increasing that score so we don't get in those positions. That time we did, and to do that on the road, I was extremely happy with that. Some of the highlights or lowlights, I don't even know what was put together here, but hopefully not all of our turnovers. If we had 28 of them, I think that's a lot of extra attempts in there. But Brian Orr, we moved Brian to a different spot where we tried to move him early on in his career. He's going to just keep getting better for what we're trying to do. A lot of kicking, getting to the middle of the floor, spotting up guys, and we made them pay. They really try to put pressure on you. This is the second night, of course, and then did a good job of making sure we're attacking and then spotting up. But you can see how much pressure there is, a lot of holding, and just a lot of different things that we just didn't handle very well the first night. Saw it the second night, and we handled it a lot better. There's Troy Brady again, shooting the three, and they're fun to watch. I mean, it's one of the funner teams I've had to coach so far here at School of Mines, but a lot of it has to do with how hard they play, how they compete, but it's sure fun to watch. The shots going in, and Coach Tinker's going to be on the 50-yard line with his chest painted by about the third time he watches this team play. He's going to be so excited about watching the three going in. We ended up with 14, 15 threes, something like that. And a lot of it did start with just penetration, things like that. We've saw Jake Heath do that in the past. You think he's such a great scorer, and honestly, the part of his game that people just don't give him enough credit for is the fact he can beat guys off the bounce, and he doesn't look real physical, but he's a guy that doesn't take that physicalness that people try to be physical with, and he just kind of shuns it off, and all right, I'm going to keep attacking and go. So, and that's what makes him a great player. It's honestly, it's not shooting as fun as it is for us to see. As far as the games coming up, we do only have one game on Friday night, so we'll all be there, center court with, I guess, Coach Tinker is the big O in the middle. The rest of us will paint our chests and get ready to cheer on the ladies on Saturday. But we only have a Friday night game. We are back against the same team, Johnson & Wales. They've had a heck of a schedule already. I think they played 7 games. They've played more D2s and D1s than anybody else in the country right now, and they're a D3 school. They just went D3, actually, I think next year. But they play all those Rocky Mountain teams. They play down in Westminster 2 games. I think they play Regis or Colorado Springs Monday or Tuesday of this week. Then they play Denver, which is a D1. Then they come up and play us in Black Hills. So they're going to take their lumps, but they're going to be ready for their conference. I'll tell you that right now. So we've always had trouble with them. It's been a team that's, I wouldn't say trouble with them, but a team that gives us a great game just because of the things in their preparation. They've already played so many games against top talented, good teams that we're going to have our hands full. There's no doubt about it. We got to bring our A game. And then we do have Saturday off. We'll get ready Sunday, Monday. And then we play a very good University of Mary team that played very, very well against South Dakota State the other night. And they're coming to our home court. So we're excited about that on Tuesday as well. So that's what's coming up. That's a recap from the weekend. Any questions for me? Nothing? All right. Well, we'll see you Friday night.
Thank you. Our coaches do a good job covering everything. I can see why there's no questions. Hey, with that said, just thank you to everybody for being here today. We appreciate it. Sandy, Brad, thank you for all the effort you guys put into everything. I personally appreciate that. We appreciate everybody in here for your support of the Hardrockers. Next week, there's not a luncheon this next Tuesday because we're heading into Thanksgiving. But 2 weeks from now, our next luncheon will be at Pizza Ranch South at 11:30 a.m. That's November 28th. So we will see you there, and we will see you here this weekend for our basketball games. Thanks, everyone.